Hi, you guys. So I had this thought the other day, and when I thought of it, I was like honestly perplexed. And it's this idea that visibility is the new evolutionary trait for success. This is what we're going to see happen throughout the next few years as the creator economy is growing, as everyone is trying to build a brand online. And I'm not just talking about the people who are trying to be influencers. If you have a business in 2025, it's important that you're on social media. It's important that you're on Google Maps. It's important that you're visible. And visibility has always been important from an evolutionary standpoint. If we look back way, way back in the past, hunter gatherer phases, who was chosen for the hunt? Who was chosen to go out and be courageous and dominant on the warrior field? It was the one with the biggest reputation. It was the one who was showing up and visible the most. Or, what blacksmith do you choose to make your sword? You're going to choose the blacksmith who knows what he's doing. You're going to choose the blacksmith who your friend told you about. So reputation and your ability to create income has always been important. All throughout time. This isn't something new. However, at this scale, it is completely new. And technology has helped us increase it a lot. But where we are now, especially with AI and creator economy just continuously growing, it's like we're going to continuously see what's happening for an evolutionary standpoint, what's possible for us in terms of emotional, identity, spiritual, evolution, and safety in creating at a massive scale. And so let's just talk about evolution from this perspective because technology and the new things that have been coming in have always helped us grow more, eat more, make more money. And way, way, way back in the day, it was like stone tools. When those came around and we learned how to shape rock, we were able to build, we were able to create, we were able to hunt more. And then fire came and we started creating more warmth and being able to travel around the world because we could go to those more cold places. We were able to actually digest food more and it made our lives more comfortable. Then moving forward, we're talking about technology and speeding up the process of farming. And, technology continues to come in and websites and internet comes in and we're growing and growing and scaling everything and really massively amplifying what's possible in terms of output, in terms of one human's ability to create change. And now we're in this age of AI. And in this age of AI, everyone has the ability to be on a level playing field. Technology has given us the opportunity to no longer need to have deep, deep expertise in something in order to implement it. Like I'm talking about, okay, if I want to learn how to replace something on my fridge. Like I'm literally going through this right now. My fridge is making some beep. And so I fixed it simply by figuring out what was on, online. And so I'm not just talking about what's around the house. I'm talking about what's your strategy on social media, how to build a brand, how to be available in a global market. Information is really, really available. And now it's the one skill that is coveted and the most talked about is visibility. Your ability to reach massive amounts of people, followers, likes, views. And when you think about a viral post, the lowest amount of virality is like, okay, like I would say a viral post would be like a higher than 10K if we're talking really, really low. And from an evolutionary standpoint, when was the last time that it was normal and something coveted and something that would genuinely help your career so much to be seen by 10,000 people? Back then, it was like, there's a specific number that our tribes were around 150. This is what we've evolutionary evolved to be around 150 people. Now think about that very, very low viral number of 10K, how that affects your evolution who has never seen that amount of visibility before. And by the way, we're talking about the low end. Like I would say 150 views on my story is low. And that's the amount of entire people that were in our tribe in the past. And so it opens up this conversation of we're seeing a new face of what's possible. Previously, it was our brain was having to catch up with globalization and our ability to connect with different people around the world and our ability to have speed at that level. And now it's our ability to create trust, connection, belonging within your community. How wild is that, first of all? So wild that we have come to this place. And the other thing that's wild is just like what happens when you become visible at that level. Because like I said, it's not totally normal. And when you think about growing to virality, and now let's talk about more of like someone who has grown their account to 100K, let's say. Like that's their goal for this year. And the thing is that when you grow your account, it's not just about this is how I'm going to show up each day. This is going to be my strategy. Like, oh, this is the video that I'm going to record tomorrow. This is the how I'm going to show up. When you're a creator and you wake up in the morning and you see something that has commented on your post and evokes some sort of shame, guilt, it is difficult for you to show up and create. Why is that? Why do we have some sticky energy left over from people who are not in our tribe that creates some stickiness? And people who have been this and who are expert creators obviously can really help alchemize that energy. But when you're talking about a massive scale of people wanting to know what's going on in your life and projecting all sorts of feelings and all sorts of beliefs onto you, what is that doing to our brain? And how are, as humans, are we going to evolve as that? And this is why, like, I'm making this whole video is to create this call for creators to know yourself. It is so important to know yourself. And of course, you as yourself is changing constantly, you know, based off of what you evolve into and what you grow into. But it's so important to take the time to really know who you are in your heart, to know what your values are, to know what your leadership style is, to know the stories that matter to you before you get projected different beliefs on by a community, by an audience. Because when we know ourselves and we're able to sit with ourselves in meditation and journaling and coaching, then we're able to actually show up as our true self. And this is the interesting part about visibility. It's like authenticity is the biggest thing that brings visibility. But with visibility, you are being asked to fit into a box, essentially become less authentic. A lot of the time, you know, there's obviously a bubble where it's like, okay, yes, girl, yes, queen girl, like go off, queen. But then at a certain point of visibility, people want to put you in a box. Of course, there will be a certain amount of people who will always want you to be free and liberated. However, it's interesting that when we grow, the thing that made us grow the most is the thing that people want to control. And so that's why it's so important to know yourself and to know simple things like your values and the stories that are important to you. And what I mean by the stories that are important to you, I'm talking about the life lessons from your younger years, from your adult years, the things that are really on your heart as important. Like one of them for me is like, you never know what someone's going through, and to always have a kind heart, because you never know. Like I've learned this story from my past, and so that's like kind of a story that I live my life with, if you will. One of the many heartfelt stories that has been in my life that has become a piece of wisdom for me. And it's so important that we know ourselves, because when you do know yourselves, you're able to be more authentic. You're able to be more visible. And like we were talking about in the beginning, that's how brands are winning right now. Brands are winning through visibility. Personal brands, creators are becoming the industry itself, because attention creates leverage. The more eyes that you have on, the more sales potential there is, the more money that is. And everyone knows how everyone feels about money. It's something extremely coveted. And so, this being the only irreplaceable human advantage, our true, genuine connection, the amount of energy that we have to give, and our is being uh, commoditized. Our energy is being sold, is what I'm trying to say. Our energy is the thing that is creating wealth. And so I just want you guys to think about that, and how attention is creating the biggest leverage right now. And I'm going to do a few more videos on this, because in order to get past this emotional attack, psychic attacks, like identity evolution, like craziness that happens when you grow at a level and you're having a million different people tell you what to do, it's like there's so many different layers to go through. I've heard a lot of people talk about, don't post your address online, like don't share this, don't respond to haters, but I haven't heard many people talk about entity attachment and spiritual attacks, and what happens when you're evolving in your shame, when lots of people are looking at you. This is the only irreplaceable human advantage, our connection, and it is for sale. And so, how are we going to evolve in that? How are we going to maintain our sense of self, our sense of belonging to ourself, without being a product to others?